Why did Jesus talk about a lamp, a basket, a bed, and a lampstand? Let's find out. This is part 27 of our series. This video explores Mark chapter 4, verses 21 through 23. Let's read verse 21 from the English Standard Version of the Bible. And he said to them, "Is a lamp brought in to be put under a basket or under a bed and not on a stand?" Mark tells us that Jesus said this to them. To whom? This is an important aside for Bible study in general. In most Bibles, there are chapters and verse numbers and frequently headings that describe what's happening in a passage. For example, the English Standard Version calls Mark chapter 4, verses 21 through 25, a lamp under a basket. These headings and chapter and verse numbers are helpful tools, but they introduce a risk to the reader. It is easy to assume that the new section with the new title is unrelated to what preceded it. In other words, a reader can unknowingly read the passage out of context and greatly increase the likelihood of misinterpreting it. So, what is the context for this passage? That brings us back to the question, to whom is Jesus speaking? Prior to this passage, Jesus was alone with the chosen 12 and the other close disciples, answering their question about why he taught in parables. Jesus explained that the mysteries of the kingdom would be available to the masses through parables if they were interested enough to unpack them. Then he explained the parable of the sower in detail. Mark has given his readers no indication that the setting or audience has changed. So, we have to assume that Jesus is still talking to his inner circle, in answer to their question about parables. Why is this important? What's wrong with taking this passage on its own? If we separate it from the context that Mark placed it in, we'll be tempted to make a general application. For example, we could take the question Jesus asked and turn it into a sermon about the importance of you letting your light shine. That makes you the subject when, in context, Jesus was talking about his parables. What did Jesus ask them? Is a lamp brought in to be put under a basket or under a bed, and not on a stand? Jesus posed a question in parable form. He asks them to consider something common and well-known, a lamp. That's what parables are, a known example used to make something else more understandable. So he asks them, how do people use lamps? Do they conceal the lamp, or put it on a stand where it can have its greatest effect? What is the purpose of a lamp? To help you see better. That purpose is lost if the lamp is placed under a basket or a bed, but the lamp stand maximizes the lamp's utility. How is a parable like a lamp? They both illuminate so you can see things better. The purpose of the parables and of a lamp is the same. Those who want to see more and see better can apply the parables, like a lamp. Hopefully, my long-winded discourse on context has paid off, and the importance of seeing this passage as connected to what preceded it is obvious. Let's move on to verse 22. For nothing is hidden except to be made manifest, nor is anything secret except to come to light. Jesus, still talking about parables, gives them two examples, hidden things and secrets. And he tells them that they aren't cryptic forever, but are held until they are revealed and brought to light. To offer an analogy, the purchase of an engagement ring is usually kept secret until the proposal. You wouldn't purchase an engagement ring with the intention of hiding it forever. That ring carries meaning, and will be revealed in a special way to maximize that meaning. Evil and dark secrets are kept with the hope that they'll never be revealed, but good secrets, positive secrets, are held until they'll have the greatest effect, with full intention of making them known. What does this have to do with Jesus' parables? Even though it may seem to the disciples like Jesus is hiding things from people rather than stating them plainly, the truths of the parables are only veiled until they're understood. Parables are teaching tools. The teacher wants the students to get it, but he wants them to want to get it, too. Once his hearers unpack and apply a parable, it's no longer hidden or secret. Like a lamp on a stand, it lets them see so much more. On to verse 23. If anyone has ears to hear, let him hear. What does Jesus say is the barrier to understanding his teaching? Just the ability to hear it. To whom are the parables spoken? To anyone with ears. That sounds like a pretty low bar and a pretty broad audience. And what does Jesus want from his audience? He said it himself. Let him hear. Jesus isn't teaching in parables to keep people from understanding. But like all great teachers, he challenges instead of spoon-feeding. In this allusion to the quote from Isaiah chapter 6, back in verse 12, he reiterates that the message is there for those who want it and apply it. And with that comes forgiveness and restoration. But only for those who seek it. The best students are hungry to learn. So what should we do with this passage? First, we should read it and interpret it in its proper context, as we should with every passage. But what does it tell us about our own pursuit of truth as students? Do we have ears to hear? Are we listening? Are we waiting to be spoon-fed? Or are we stalking truth like prey? The parables are like a lamp. They exist so that their hearers can see more and see better. But that will only happen if they listen, look, and apply. In our next video, Jesus encourages the disciples to check their measurements. Thank you for watching Sowhatscripture. Please subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends on social media.